Welcome to this Forge College Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right into it. In our last lesson together, we focused heavily on user experience optimization and performance evaluation. We tweaked all the dials, we smoothed out the interactions, and we got your tokenized real-world assets on Solana working absolutely beautifully in your local workshop. But now? Well, now we face a critical new challenge. We need to actually transition your brilliant working prototype into a pristine, reviewer-ready master inventor's blueprint. This is that essential bridge before the final Capstone project where your work is going to be integrated into live USDC payment flows.
So, here's our agenda for today. We're going to cover 1. The handoff dilemma, 2. Structuring your artifacts, 3. Automating the assembly, 4. The perfect handoff manual, 5. The verification checkpoint, and finally 6. Capstone next steps.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the handoff dilemma.
We've all been there, right? You've been tinkering in the workshop for days. The invention works flawlessly. Your real-world asset token mints perfectly. The transfers execute over the Solana network without a hitch. But your workspace is a complete disaster zone. Then the inevitable happens. You hand it off to a reviewer. They try to run it and it immediately crashes. And then we hear that classic, humorous yet deeply painful engineering cry. Why does it only work on my machine? Right now, your code is probably tied to your specific, messy, local environment. It's relying on hidden dependencies and hard-coded paths. And we absolutely have to fix that before handing it off.
Moving from a messy prototype to a reviewer-ready increment is what today is all about. We're taking something that's chaotic, completely undocumented, and strictly local only, and we're transforming it into something reproducible, highly structured, and totally automated. It's literally the difference between handing someone a cardboard box full of loose, tangled gears versus giving them a fully assembled, beautifully ticking pocket watch.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, structuring your artifacts.
To clean up that messy desk, we really need to sort the chaos into logical, predictable buckets. Every clean blueprint requires 4 main directories, just so automated scripts and human reviewers can find exactly what they need without having to guess. First, you've got your token artifact folder for your compiled programs or deployment manifests. Second, integration demo for the scripts that actually perform the payment and transfer flows. Third, a tests directory for your execution logs and receipts. And fourth, a top-level handoff README to tie the whole shebang together.
The ultimate goal we are chasing here is deterministic packaging. Basically, this means creating an archive where files have exact timestamps and sort orders, ensuring the exact same package is produced every single time it's built. Think of deterministic packaging like opening a brand new Lego set. The pieces aren't just thrown in there randomly, they are sorted into the exact same numbered bags every single time. That kind of predictability, that's what makes reviewers happy.
Let's move to the assembly line in Section 3, automating the assembly.
Listen, you shouldn't be dragging and dropping these files manually. No way. Instead, you're going to automate the packaging using a standard shell script typically named assembleincrement.sh. This script does all the heavy lifting for you. It validates that the required files actually exist in your expected build locations. It copies your compiled programs and demo scripts into those neat directories we just talked about. It bundles your latest TIS logs, and finally, it creates a versioned tar archive. Boom! It completely removes human error from the packaging process.
Now, part of this automation involves generating a smoke test summary. This is a fast, machine-readable check that confirms the basic functions work and returns a simple exit code, like a 0 for success. I like to think of a smoke test as essentially turning the key in a newly built car just to see if the engine catches fire, rather than trying to drive it 100 miles down the highway. It gives the reviewer a quick, automated, yes, this basic thing works, before they invest their time diving any deeper.
Moving right along to Section 4, the perfect handoff manual.
You know, even the most brilliantly engineered blueprint is totally useless without a legend. And that brings us to your handoff README and documentation. You absolutely must include a file mapping table that maps each file directly to its exact purpose. For instance, RWA token.js is clearly labeled as the deployment manifest. Demo.js is what mints the tokens and executes the payment. Settlement receipt.js is the parsed reconciliation receipt. Doing this explicitly eliminates all guesswork for the reviewer. They know exactly where to look.
Now, you might actually be using AI to help write some of these automation scripts, which is what we in the Web3 space are currently calling vibe coding. It's like having an AI robot apprentice help organize your toolbox, which is incredibly helpful. But if you do use an AI assistant to refactor your packaging script, just make sure to document your prompts in a specific folder. That way, the reviewers can easily trace where the automated changes came from and actually understand the logic behind them.
The really crucial point here is honest documentation, especially regarding known gaps or bugs. When you're documenting open issues, you must include the specific cause, the current mitigation you have in place, and the recommended next action for the reviewer. Explicitly stating what is broken, why it's broken, and how you suggest fixing it, that saves the Capstone team hours of painful triage during their kickoff. Transparency is for sure your best friend when handing off a complex project.
Okay, so we've built the manual and we've built the package. Now it's time for the ultimate climax in Section 5, the verification checkpoint.
This is the moment where we objectively prove that it all works. A successful handoff means a reviewer can follow 3 really simple steps. Step 1, unpack the tar archive into an isolated directory. Step 2, run a single top-level command in a clean environment, like run increment.sh mode local. And step 3, compare the newly generated settlement receipts with the original ones you bundled into the archive. They should be able to watch the entire integration demo complete flawlessly without touching a single line of your code.
Let's take a closer look at that settlement receipt for a second. It's a verified log connecting an on-chain Solana transaction signature directly to an off-chain custody attestation file. During this verification checkpoint, we check this receipt to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that your on-chain real-world asset tokens perfectly match the off-chain physical reality. It's the ultimate cryptographic proof that your entire system is doing exactly what it claims to do.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Capstone Next Steps. With our verification complete, let's look at how this beautiful artifact sets us up for the final phase.
If you take away anything from this explainer today, I want you to remember these 3 core pillars of the master inventor's blueprint. Number 1, predictable structure matters. It completely eliminates onboarding guesswork. Number 2, honest documentation is vital. It preserves your hard-earned design decisions and saves literally everyone time. And number 3, machine-readable artifacts prove it works. Logs, receipts, and smoke tests allow reviewers to validate your environment programmatically rather than just taking your word for it.
Before officially handing off your masterpiece, there is one last incredibly helpful step. Prepare a short 2 to 4 minute demonstration recording, walking through the run script and pointing out the settlement receipt. A brief video walkthrough massively accelerates the Capstone kickoff because it visually orients the reviewers to exactly what the expected flow should look like, even before they unzip the file.
So your reproducible blueprint is now completely finished. But here is the real question for you. Are you ready to take this pristine architecture and plug it into live, high-stakes USDC payment flows? Because that is your next frontier. This explainer was brought to you by Forge College. To learn more about this module, dive deeper into tokenized real-world assets on Solana, and explore other fascinating Web3 topics, be sure to visit forge.college today. Thanks for joining me in the workshop, and I honestly can't wait to see what you build next.